Coffee with the Commish coming to you from Seagirt, New Jersey. It's a beautiful morning, one of the final days of summer. I'm joined by Pops Fish. Pops, how are you?
Good, welcome.
This is the first repeat guest on Coffee with the Commish, so we'll be changing it up a little bit, some twists and turns along the way. So you ready to go?
I'm honored to be here as the first repeat guest.
First repeat guest. So first off, what are we drinking?
We're drinking English breakfast tea in my trusty Yeti cup.
And I am drinking McDonald's from the grocery store.
McDonald's from McDonald's. I
McDonald's
have
from
no
McDonald's.
idea. It's a roast brewed up at home, but yeah, in a new Yeti tumbler.
Not too bad, not too bad. Well, let's get started. We're going to start talking about you a little bit, get down to business, but then that's when the twists and turns begin. So
Okay.
you ready to go?
Yeah, sure.
All right, so last year you did share with the league that in retirement life you watch the sunrise. You're into investments, you write. What else have you been doing in the last year or so since we last met?
Well, it's like a plug. I just finished my new book. It's called The Women Who Saved Spring Lake, and it'll be released this fall, so look out for it.
Is that on Amazon yet?
It'll be on, yes, actually it is on Amazon. You can download it today. You can purchase it.
So I was going to ask you, you do already have two books, one entitled Seagirt, the Last Town at the Jersey Shore, and the Peculiar Conditions Attending to Its Ownership. That's available on Amazon Kindle for $2.99 or paperback for $15.95. Then you had another book, Who Are These People? But I couldn't find that on Amazon.
That's because it's not for sale, Mike. That's a family history, and I distribute it to members of my family. I have 57 cousins on my dad's side, and it's the story of their family and their family's history in Newfoundland, where my dad's mom and dad were from.
Wow. So Seagirt book already online, Spring Lake book coming away. I've not yet read them, but it is on my to-do list. So
Excellent.
on the to-do list. Another interesting fact you shared last year, you had walked Sandy Hook to Manasquan Inlet. Any other impressive feats this summer?
I sat on the beach and took a lot of naps, so there were no impressive feats for the summer. But I did read a lot. I finished 4 books on my Kindle and took a nap between each chapter.
And you did mention last year, I think, an ice cream tour, bike ride to all the ice cream parlors.
Yeah,
around here.
it didn't come off, Mike, for 2 reasons. One, I got bad news from my cardiologist, so I have to watch my ice cream intake. I really don't eat ice cream. And the second is that it's just a lot of work, and I'm not interested in doing it.
I was going to say, if you want to organize it for the league, we can try to get Jimmy Legs on a bicycle or.
Hey, I'm big on riding the bike. I ride the bike up and down the coast, so I'm all for riding the bike.
Well, while we're on the topic of you, here's one of those twists and turns I'm going to ask you about. So this is called 2 Facts and a Lie. While what I'm going to do is ask you 2 facts about yourself and a lie, of course. It doesn't have to go in that order. So share those 3 statements, any interesting tidbits, accomplishments, weird stuff. We're going to throw it out to the league. Whoever answers first, whoever gets the answer correct first gets kudos from the Commish. We'll reveal the answer in the weekly notes. So there's my plug as well.
Okay, so as we hear this plane go by, a helicopter. I wonder who's in that one. So I'll give you a couple facts and a lie. First fact that
As the helicopter goes by.
the helicopter goes by.
We don't edit this either. So.
That's okay. First fact is that I live in a house that used to be owned by Bill Parcells. First fact. Second fact. I can't lie, Mike. I'm sorry. I can't lie. How do you do this? I can't lie. I can say it's a fact and then lie about
Just
it.
3 statements and.
3 statements.
All right, just give us an interesting fact then, and we'll leave it at that.
I'll give you an interesting fact.
Okay.
And you can tell me whether it's a fact or a lie by looking it up. Right here at the end of our boardwalk was the original home that was here was built by a guy named Commodore Stockton. He ran for a president and got the very first endorsement of a brand new newspaper called the New York Times. Believe it or not, he was a Republican. There's a fact. How's that?
It is a fact. So no lies, but we did
No,
learn
I
something
can't
this
lie.
morning.
I
So
can't lie.
That's good stuff. Let's talk some business, which is fantasy football, of course. 8th season in the league. It's flying by. I think your career record, I have it here, 35 and 64.
Not good. maybe worse.
4-9 last year. You're off to an 0-2 start, but looks like you could have a promising team. Week 1, you had almost 140 points and a loss to Crazy Fools. How are we feeling about this team?
You know what? I'm over reliant on the Houston Texans, and I have a pretty average team for a guy that picked all the way down near the bottom. I picked second to last, and so I have a decent team. They could beat you, whoever it is that's here. I didn't see any breakout teams. There's no established this racking up 157 points a week. It's pretty even, so I think I can win a lot of games.
And in prep for this interview, I rewatched last year's episode, and you did bring up the in-laws throwdown, is what you called it, as far as Three Moors, yourself, Grinders, and Untouchable. Are we doing that this year?
I'm all in for it.
In case the league needs a refresher, that's a series where, kind of like the More Light Challenge that is now defunct, where the winning family gets a breakfast on the losing family. Right now, so far in the young season, the series is at 1-1. Untouchable defeated Nittany Lions, lost to Drug Infested Den, so the series is underway.
Excellent, and I'm hopeful that we can pull this off. Andrew's got a pretty good team. He's 2-0, and
He's 2-0.
Untouchable's 1-1, and maybe I'll pick up the slack.
On the way here, we talked about content being at an all-time high. In addition to what you're watching here in the weekly notes, we have a PTI feature by the Light Brothers, sometimes Ice Cold Takes by Garden State Grinders, and we had a one-off video from Drug Infested Den where he rambled about who knows what. But
I love the name, Ice Cold Coffee Takes.
It was a good name. What are your thoughts on all the content? What do you like, dislike? What would you change?
Okay, so there's a pretty big obligation in this league that you have to watch all the content, read all the notes, watch football. So I've decided to give up watching football and instead concentrate on all the content that's being produced by the league. So I did watch the Lights. I thought that was the most entertaining of the week. I didn't miss that Garden State Grinders. He hasn't put out any content. I know he was at the Yankee game yesterday. He could have did a live report from the Yankee game.
That would have been great.
But I've decided to not watch the NFL this year. I'm going to try to see if I can hold out the entire season because the Fish have given up the season before it even started, and so I see no reason to watch.
The Light Brothers, in their most recent episode, did put Blue Moon on blast for playing in multiple leagues. Blue Moon did respond with a lengthy email, so I wanted to see if you had a take on that.
Well, yeah, I think Blue Moon took the Light comments a little too seriously because he came back with a harsh response, like he was a little offended. And I didn't catch as much sarcasm in his reply. But you know what? It's all in good fun. Everybody's having a good time. So, Blue Moon, good luck to you.
It's all in
Light
good fun.
Boys, good luck to you.
It's all in good fun. All right, I have a couple of anonymous questions posed from people that are not me. Ready for these?
Okay, here we go.
The first question.
As long as it's not from Amanda.
I can't make any promises.
Oh, okay.
First question is, who is your favorite kid?
Who's my favorite kid? Well, just like the very sweetheart, Mr. Light, it's really hard to pick the favorite kid. I have a favorite son and a favorite daughter. How's that?
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Second question, do you really own 60% of 4A Health?
No, I don't own any of 4A Health. I am a 4A Health fan. I follow them on social media. I listen to a lot of 4A Health material, and occasionally I've spoken to Sean about 4A Health. So if you need any training, or if you're an aspiring personal trainer, or a strength coach, I would encourage you to go to 4ahealth.com.
Another plug. The third and final question, this is a two-parter now. The first part, which Moore League team do you enjoy defeating the most?
Good question. Which one do I enjoy defeating the most? Well, since I don't defeat that many, and when I win, it's usually an upset special, I do have to say I like to beat those that crow the most when they win. So I would probably say first and foremost Drug Infested Den, because his celebrations are when he wins is just so much. So I enjoy beating him. Not that I've beaten anyone all that much. I do like to beat the Nittany Lions because he takes the league so seriously. And I enjoy beating Untouchables because he gets upset when he loses because he cares so much about the league. And first and foremost, I enjoy beating the Garden State Grinders because He's
Just a
my
rivalry,
son,
yeah.
and it's like a little father-son thing. I did lose to him this year, and it was close, and it was a good game, so I was happy about
So,
that.
second part of that, which team do you least like to play against?
Least like to play against. Well, the machine seems to have my number. Well, wait, everybody seems to have my number. But so, which one do I least like to play against? The last couple of years, it really has been Blue Moon or Establish This or One for One or whatever his name is. But that really, each of those games were just bad for me, good for him.
Got it. Well, I have some league trivia for you. Ready to answer some questions?
Sure.
3 questions. If you get all 3 correct, we're going to reward you a $5 coffee gift card, or in this case, tea gift card. So some questions are easy, some are tough. So let's see how you do. So the first question actually relates to what you were just talking about. Matt Sanders is in his 5th season in the league. He said 5 official team names. Can you name 4 of the 5?
Well, I got One for One. I can't name the 4th, though. I got Blue Moon.
That's 2.
Establish This.
That's 3.
And 2 for 2.
I'll give it to you. It was too easy.
Yeah, too easy. Yes, you're right.
I'll give it to you.
Thank you.
Second question. Who has the longest playoff drought in the league?
Who has the longest playoff drought in the league? I'm going to say Jimmy Legs.
Sorry, it is not Jimmy Legs.
Sorry.
It is Shake and Bake. His last playoff appearance was in 2013.
Shake. Come on, Shake. Get with it.
Third question. Who has the most all-time losses?
Oh, the most all-time losses. You got to be in the league a long time to have the most all-time losses. I'm going to go with the drug-infested Den.
You'd be close, but not correct. That's Crazy Fools. He has 127 losses, but to give credit to Crazy, you have a record of 156, 127, and 1. So,
Nice to be in the league that long. I respect your longevity.
So,
But I'm going for your record.
might be a few years, but ready for some hit and run?
Sure.
That's a repeat or a return from last year. So here we go. First thing that comes to mind, just throw it out. Favorite cereal?
Cheerios.
Regular Cheerios?
Regular plain Cheerios with you. Don't mix in any of the multi-grain stuff. The reason is it's got all kinds of other stuff in it. I just want oats. That's all I want, just oats.
What about Honey Nut?
No, I just want oats.
You've been in Seagirt a few years now. What's your favorite restaurant down the shore?
Favorite restaurant? The tip for the winter time is a place called Seagrass in Ocean Grove. They've got 2 for 1 on Wednesdays. That's a pretty good deal. And the seafood's good. And I also like Blend on Main. I like Borelli's down the street. There's a lot of great restaurants around here.
Most memorable sports moment of your life, whether it was you playing or something you watched in professional or college or what have you?
I would say I went to a Montreal Expos, San Diego Padres doubleheader in 1971. Yeah, 1971. And in Jarry Park in Montreal. And I got a grounds rule double by John Bacabella. And I got the ball. So
You still have the ball to this day?
I still have the ball, yes.
You're a big proponent of long sleeves no matter the weather. Why?
You don't have to worry about you getting burnt. You're always appropriately temperatured. You wear clothes over your chest. Why don't you wear clothes over your arms? I mean, you don't walk around with sleeves on and no shirt. I mean, come on. So if you wear sleeves, you might as well go all the way. And I'm not a big fan of that office look, with the short sleeve dress shirt. No, that's a bad look for me.
You're going on a road trip. Well, you did recently, but you're going on another road trip with either Untouchable or Garden State Grinders, but they control the radio. Untouchable is listening to Channel 69 Escape, or Grinders is listening to Drake, or as the kids say these days, Drizzy, the entire way. Which one are you driving with?
Oh, Untouchable every time. I just can't stand the music that Andrew listens to. However, Escape, if you're driving, can put you to sleep, so you got to be very careful.
Which member of the league do you believe would make the best politician?
The best politician? Well, probably I'm gonna have to go with the Mountain Ears, he's been working on his personal presentation skills, and you can tell he's a talker.
He's a good public speaker.
Oh yeah, he's a great public speaker.
Good answer. Say something nice about Shake and Bake. We
Well,
just talked about him.
He's not a threat to me. I mean, there's a lot of guys in this league that I worry about when I play. I don't worry when I play the Shake.
Person in the league that you would like to see produce content that doesn't already.
Oh, I think that if we could get Madison Hedgecox to do some content, it would be great. He did content for professional baseball. He could
That's right.
He could do content for this league.
Madison Hedgecox got paid to make content, so let's step up, Hedgecox. And finally, if you were trapped in a foxhole, which person in the league would you want in there with you to help get you out?
To help get me out. If I was trapped in a foxhole under enemy fire, wow. So I'd be thinking I'd want one of the old guys with me because they'd probably, they're men's men and, they're not these soft young people. But I'd have to say the Commish because, frankly, he could carry me out if he needed to. He could run away really fast if he needed to. And if I asked him to do something, I'm sure he'd lay it down to do it.
Honored by that answer. So we close out. You get one question for the Commish.
One question for the Commish. Okay, Commish. Tell us. You moved down to Wall. You left Hoboken. Which is better, Hoboken or Wall?
Is this a question for the Commish or for Mrs. Commish? Because you're going to get different answers.
I want the Commish's answer.
Down here.
Down here, all right.
Down by the shore.
Monmouth County.
Monmouth County. So that's it for this week's episode of Coffee with the Commish. Reminder, go to Amazon, buy Seagirt, The Last Town at the Jersey Shore, $2.99. It has 3 5-star reviews, so it's got some good stuff
Hey,
there.
coming soon, the new book, the Women Who Saved Spring Lake. Read it.
And we'll show you the beach real quick since we are at the beach.